Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. Don't forget about the lamb on the cross. The love of the Lord ain't swaying. We are allowed to stay in His class. Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. Don't forget about the lamb on the cross. The love of the Lord ain't swaying. We are allowed to stay in His class. In His first advent He delivered. In His first advent He enslaved. In His first advent He determined how in this time we should behave. Each one teach one, He told us, go out and feed my sheep. And all of those heavy laden, I will give you a rest so deep. In His first advent He did lay down the fundament on which we should lean. The preaching of the cross, remember, to those lost still appear as a dream. Like Timothy recalled in the Bible, in chapter 4 it does say, doctrines of devils mingling with whatever Master God does say. We must be willing to defend regardless. Little David had Goliath to face. With the same faith we can do it. It's the very same Christ these days. Our standard bearer God recalled him. God Almighty, the leader of all. Selassie found refuge in Jesus when Italy tried to make him fall. And he spoke more than once so clearly of Christ's exemplary life. It is needed that we sincerely start see through Selassie eyesight. St. Paul on the road to Damascus, he also felt he was right. But what he was actually doing was giving God's people a fight. The Lord did visit and change him. Paul did hear and obey. Just like David and Nathan, King Saul did choose another way. Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. Don't forget about the lamb on the cross. The love of the Lord ain't swaying. We are allowed to stay in His class. Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. Don't forget about the lamb on the cross. The love of the Lord ain't swaying. We are allowed to stay in His class. You're trusting into His Bible, the place where your wisdom stands. But to keep it clean from pollution has always been so hard. As we know there is an enemy out there, it's one that we all should know. Away from the love of Jehovah is where the devil wishes us all to go. Babylon means confusion, infusing the truth they did. But just the interpretation, God's words remaining legit. It's the perfect guide on the journey to have our spirits and souls alive. But you must take the full package, else the devil overtakes your mind. Now we grew up with human logics, but that can't reveal who God is. His spirit is ever abiding, and His hand is never to miss. Haile Selassie said from early childhood, is the Bible that he appreciates. So why not follow that example, and we can eat what he ate? For the Bible tells us in a parable of two sons whom father did ask to stop do whatever they're doing and help him complete this task. One said yes but didn't do it. The other said no and it changed. If you stay genuine, there's always a way to have your mind rearranged. Nothing new under the sun, he told us. Pharisees try to stop the truth shine. By the sword that Christ delivers, we can see where they are in this time. They are dwelling amongst God's people, appearing in the same war. But no one can copy the Spirit, and neither is it only just talk. Matthew 13, the sower, recall everything that's told. The ground where the truth has fallen determines what will unfold. So if you're willing to have your mind changed, your soul adjusted as well. Then open your heart to hear him, the shepherds that feed so well. Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. Don't forget about the lamb on the cross. The love of the Lord ain't swaying. We are allowed to stay in his class. Don't forget about the lamb that's slain. We are allowed to stay in his class.